Hello, I'm Patrick Childress. My wife Rebecca and I have lived on this Valiant 40 named brick house for the past 11 years. We have a long sailing history that precedes that, and you can check that out at our blog site, whereisbrickhouse.com. And we had a very good response to our first YouTube video in regards to using PVC tubing for chafe gear on your standing rigging. And a couple great comments came up about, well, what if you just don't want to or don't feel comfortable taking apart your Norseman or Staylock terminals to slip PVC tubing up onto the rigging? And what if you did, and now you can't get the turnbuckles back together because there's not enough threads left to do so? Well, I came up with two ways of cutting a long slit in the PVC so that you can spread it open and snap it onto the shrouds. One way is by using a multi-tool. Normally you would use, or people buy these multi-tools for this triangular sanding disc for getting into very tight spots. But I originally bought it for this very thin blade. This blade is less than a millimeter thickness. That's like 0.033 thickness. It's hair thin. It oscillates back and forth for getting into tight places. I think this will work well on the PVC tubing. The other option is to use a Dremel tool. A lot of cruising sailboats have a Dremel tool on board. This little blade looks like a mini table saw blade. They come in bigger diameters, but this is their smallest one. And it's plenty deep to cut through one layer of the PVC. We'll see how well that works. We'll get to it right now. Okay, we'll secure the board. Since I'm working alone here, I only have two hands. Every boat needs a cordless drill, 18 volts. But of course we also have a 120 volt drill on board for heavier work or when we're at a marina. But we also have a little Honda generator that I can run it with. And that's what's going to be operating these tools. This tool is actually 240 volts, so I have to run that through a converter. Another necessary piece of equipment if you're going to be sailing internationally. It's only in America, Central America, South America that I have seen 110 volts. The rest of the world uses 240, just like metric. You get away from America, all this PVC is in metric. That's 16 millimeters right there. Everything is metric outside of the US. Okay, that's secure enough. We'll start out with the multi-tool. We'll cut right along here and see how that works. So now we get to crank up the generator, make a lot of noise. It's a little Honda EU 1000. Now we'll try the Dremel. Okay, so what's the best tool to use? You know, it seems like either one works well. I think I'm going to go ahead though with the multi-tool and just finish off the full length cut. This Dremel is the smallest size. I didn't think when I bought it that I was going to really need it very often. I probably should have bought the larger, heavier duty Dremel, which would have an easier time cutting through this PVC. But still, this is just adequate to do the work. And one other thing I didn't show you, but anytime you install the blade, make sure it cuts in the rotation. If you put it on backwards, it'll still cut, but not quite as well. Okay, I have to apologize for the wind noise. The wind has just picked up considerably, so I'll speak loud and try to overcome that noise. But we're ready to put the PVC tubing on an upper shroud. So I'll spread it apart and squeeze it on and see how it goes. There we go. Nice. Seems to be gripping well. Oh, hit a little snag here. I think this is where the saw got away from me at one point. Okay, so if it's hard to go on, it's got to be hard to take off. Now, one viewer had a very good comment and question. What if this PVC was cut in a candy cane motion? And that's about where we are now. I just started to try that for the last 2 feet. So I have 1 full revolution in 2 feet of tubing. And I have to twist it around here to get it on. So it's a little harder to get on with that cut, which I think that's a good thing. Means it's going to be difficult for it to ever come off. But as a follow-up, I won't bore you with the details and having to watch it. But what I'm going to do is clean up a section with acetone and then use PVC cement to glue up the crack. And then I'll use tape above and below the cement and just leave the tape on. I'll do that in about sections every 3 feet, and that should hold things well enough. One other comment a viewer had was about the wire ties. Seems like anytime you cut a wire tie, there's always a meat hook involved that's left hanging off. But there's 2 ways to take care of that. You could use a soldering iron and melt the ends, but in this case I used the Dremel and I just sanded the ends flush, so there's no meat hooks anymore. Well, I hope that this video has been helpful to you, and there'll be things that you're going to be able to use on your own boat. But if this was a good video, if you liked it, if it was useful, please push the button down there with the thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, if the video stank, then forget that other thumbs down button. And there is a subscribe button somewhere here on the viewing screen. But thanks a lot for tuning in, and we should have some more tips coming up and some more YouTube videos shortly. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.